Okay, guys, we'll see some theoretical part today, and after that, we'll start practical from today itself. Okay, okay. I can see few of you have texted me in WhatsApp. Yeah, please check all of you. Okay. Small doubt. Does a firewall understand public IP or private IP addresses? Okay, who can give this answer? Does firewall understand public IP or private IP address? Who can answer this question? Okay, let me tell you. See, what your device does is device just understands the IP address. Okay, they don't negotiate with private IP or a public IP. Okay, if you have you seen like configuring the private IP at the outside interface and doing a translation, then your firewall rejects the translation. It tells you that I won't do a translation with the private IP. Does it give you such type of error? What does that mean? Firewall can translate anything, pass it, no errors. Public and private and vice versa, correct? Means it's an IP, that's all. It looks at not what is routable, what is not routable. While I was asking about drive access, that time you should give right. Now remind me after ending the class. Okay. Okay. Whose question was that? Did you get your answer regarding IP address? Your device just understands the IP address, nothing else. Okay. Guys, any other queries? Any other questions? Okay. So, guys, you guys can see here Fortinet security fabric over here. Security fabric is nothing but it's basically, you can say, like what are the securities being implemented or what type of networks are being secured by your Fortinet. Okay, that is basically called as a security fabric, nothing else. Network is basically called as a fabric. Okay, so here you can see different types of networks we have, like access network we have, WAN or LAN network we have, endpoints we have, security operations we have, application, cloud infrastructure. So what are all these things? These all are the part of security that we need to secure. So Fortinet helps you to protect all these types of the networks. Okay. Now, let me show you this. See, if you see the specification of a FortiGate firewall, you guys can see different specifications will be under the firewall. Okay. Like you guys can Google and see the, the specification details of your firewall. For example, like we have a FortiGate 600E. It's one of the model number of the firewall. You guys can see like interface and module, what type of interfaces we have. Like we do have RJ45 interface. We do have different types of slots, USB ports, like local storage, including, right. So all these are the things included here. My voice is not really audible. Might be your side, please check it. Okay, fine. You guys can see what's basically the throughput of your next generation firewall. Total throughput is 9.5. IPS throughput, you can see. See, firewall throughput is different. IPS throughput is different. Total protection throughput is different. Threat prevention throughput is different. Right. After that, we have the IPv4 firewall throughput, IPv6 firewall throughput. So different types of configurations will be given, right? How many policies can be configured? Like 10,000 policies can be configured. Okay. You guys can see like how many sessions can be created per second. New sessions per second you can create, right? Firewall VPN throughputs. So basically, for each and everything, the details will be given. Guys, please turn off your mic. So you'll see all the details will be given in your specification. Yesterday, I gave you an example, right? For example, whenever you want to purchase any laptop or anything else, what you'll see the specification, right? You should know what's your requirement. So basically, whenever you are going to purchase the firewall for your organization, you should know what's your purpose, where are you going to deploy it, what are the requirements. At least you will see 3 years or 5 years of the duration. Till that point, your firewall should be capable for holding all the types of traffics in your network. So whatever your purpose is, according to that, you have to choose the best firewall. And while choosing the firewall, you should look into a specification, which is very important. Okay. Now, after that, these are some virtual appliances, guys. Till now, we have seen hardware appliances. These are some virtual appliances model numbers. Like you guys can see here, like FortiGate VM01, 02, 3, 4, like you can see, sorry, not 3, 4, 8, 16, 32. You can see such type of model numbers of what? You can see for virtual firewalls. Okay. And you guys can see the CPUs and the RAM required for each and every model number. Okay. So whenever you guys are working with the virtual devices, definitely they will look into the multiple virtual devices. I mean, like multiple virtual devices requirements they will look into. Okay.
Sushil, it is nothing actually. Just I shared whatever you mentioned yesterday for information for everyone actually, right? So we can download the images. And for the virtual, image of the FortiGate, I think you did not mention yesterday, right? Maybe I will
No,
download
I
today.
told yesterday I indicated 6.2
Oh,
version of the FortiGate firewall, right? It was there.
it is hardware based or is it?
No, it's a virtual one.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, very good.
It's
Okay,
a
good. Okay,
yeah, it's
then
a
I have downloaded.
FortiGate 6.3. It's a
Yeah,
virtual only. Okay.
623, right?
Yeah,
623, correct?
623. Yeah,
Okay, good.
that's the
Thank you.
current version that we are going to work on. Mhm.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Okay. And if you guys see the virtual appliances, the specifications over here, you guys can see like total specific, the technical specifications, right? So you can see FortiGate model numbers, you can see their requirements, storage, how much it supports, right? All this stuff, different model numbers, different specifications, right? So firewall policies, you can see unlimited licenses, you can see. So depends what type of firewalls you guys are going to purchase, right? And what type of the requirement you have. Accordingly, you will choose the different types of model numbers. Yesterday, I guess I had shared it for the Cisco guys. For you guys, for FortiGate, I'll also share it. Don't worry. Okay, tell me one thing, guys. Like, whenever you guys are going for a virtualization, what type of platforms would you need to deploy the virtual firewall? What type of platforms do you need? Earlier, also, I explained, right? Whenever you go for the virtual platform. So, what type of platforms are basically your virtual platforms? Now, you can create your own private cloud or you guys can go for the public clouds, right? Now, see the names mentioned here for private clouds that you guys can create. Private clouds means what? It's your private data center, private DC that you guys can create. So, what type of the devices or the operating systems would be required? You guys can see these are the requirements for the private clouds, your data center that you guys will be creating. Public clouds, that is pre-deployed with all the types of the things in the sense servers on which you guys can upload your machine, like Palo Alto firewall. Please take a note of this, guys. Just give me 2 minutes, I'll be back. Now let's talk about the private cloud that you guys can use to deploy all your virtual machines. Like we have a VMware, NSX, Microsoft Hyper-V. Right. What are these? These are the operating systems, the OS that you guys can install to deploy the virtualization, virtual machines on top of that. We have a different versions of these operating systems. Similarly, we have a well-known, the public clouds, like we take the AWS cloud, right? We do have a different types like for Dell also we do have Microsoft Azure, also we have IBM, we have Alibaba, Oracle, Google. See, these all are the public clouds in which you guys can deploy the virtual machines instead of deploying the firewall in your local data center. Instead of putting engineers to maintain those data center, you will deploy your devices on someone else data center, like public clouds, and those vendors will be responsible for taking the backup, maintenance, everything. Devices which you will deploy, that you have to take care, but the platform care, the care will be taken by whom? The vendor itself. Yeah, why not? They are deploying the firewalls on the the on the public clouds. They are sending all the traffics. They are diverting their traffics to a public cloud. From there, all the protections they are doing. So basically, I don't have to take care of all those the backup, maintenance, multiple things, right? Are you guys getting my point, what I'm telling? How do you deploy your virtual appliances? Okay. Now, these are the virtual appliances which are available right now with your FortiGate. Okay. See, there are multiple devices. Okay. Forti analyzer, the well-known things, devices that like Forti authenticator, Forti cache, Forti recorder, Forti email, Forti manager, sandbox. Even the sandbox separate device it comes. So either you can take a Forti sandbox as a virtual device, Forti sand cloud, or you guys can take a Forti sand hardware. It's available. Forti voice, Forti web, Forti portal, SIM, WAN, WLC, right? After that, Forti web manager. These all are the virtual devices that are present. Forti WAN, yeah, it's a device that supports multiple things. Okay, types of processors we have already understood, like content processor, security processor, network processor. These are the three different types of processors which are present in your firewall. Okay, and the responsibilities of each processors will be different. Like content related packet will be checked by content processor. Security related stuff will be done. Security means kind of a, that's basically a signature processing, guys. Okay, see, security processor will be related to your, it's very much, yeah, modular. Yeah, see, basically when you talk about different types of processors, even the processor wise also responsibilities are given. Now anything related to content filtering will be taken care by a content processor. Like what type of responsibilities, like encryption, decryption should be done, such type of responsibilities will be taken by content processor. Security processors, like if any data has to be masked with the signatures, so this processor will be responsible. The responsibilities are also separated. Network processor, related to like routing, related to hardwares, all those stuff. So basically there are different types of processors in your firewall. Okay, now I'll show you guys a few practicals today. Okay. We'll create a lab here as a FortiGate and here I'll be adding the FortiGate firewall. Okay, I don't see FortiGate image here. I don't see FortiGate image. So what you guys can do, you can upload the FortiGate images to your EVNG. Let me connect my hard drive, 2 minutes. 1 GB. 1 GB for firewall. Is that fine? Rest other devices will need a requirement, will have a requirement, but for a firewall, it's only 1 GB. Okay, I'll get into EVNG. You have to get into wait. You have to get into OPT folder. Inside the OPT, go to Unit Lab. Inside that, go to Add-on, go to QMO. Right. And whatever I have given you the folder, just go there. See, come to this folder and please copy this, drag and drop. Don't drag and drop inside any folder. Don't do like that. Drag it outside. And I want you to drag with this name. And do not make any changes with the image name or the folder name, or else hash value will change and it won't show you in your EVNG. So as I have shown you, do it like that. Just refresh the page. Come here. Now you'll see FortiGate is available. How much RAM it is taking, guys? 1 GB, 1 CPU, 4 interfaces. If you want to include more interfaces, you can add directly from here. Okay. And take the firewall. So this is my FortiGate firewall. Now in this, the first interface, port 1, will be using for management purpose. So I want my base PC. This base PC which you see, I want my base PC to act like a management interface. So what you guys can do, directly go to network and go to management cloud and write your name as a management PC or something that you want. And then come to FortiGate firewall connected. This is management. I'll take a management subnet like 105.0.0.0/24. After that, I'll take LAN, WAN, and DMZ. So I'll take one Windows PC. This PC's requirement is 4 GB. With 4 GB, it will work smoothly. If you don't have sufficient RAM with you, you can make it as a 1024 as well, like 1024. It will work with that as well. With 1 GB also or 2 GB like that also you can make, but it will be a little bit slow. In my case, 4 GB I can afford, so I can give this. So this is my LAN PC. I'll connect with port number 2 and I'll put here name as LAN subnet 10.11.11.0/24. Now I'll take one switch at the WAN interface. I'll connect. Sometimes this switch creates issue. Okay, we'll see if it is connecting properly, then we'll keep it, or else we'll remove the switch. Now this switch I want to connect with one router. We'll create one outside router. We'll use it for different testing purposes, like sending the traffic from LAN to WAN, or sending the traffic from WAN to DMZ in such cases. Okay. And I'll try to connect to a management cloud, which will be connecting me to our internet. Just writing a name here does not mean it will connect to our internet. The main thing is management cloud, what we are choosing here. Okay. And this management cloud is going to directly talk with your adapter, which is connected with the internet. So through that adapter, it will make the connectivity. Right. So this is my WAN. And WAN subnet will be 172.16.3.0/24. Why did I take 172.16.3.0? Because this subnet, which you see, is actually my router subnet. In my home, I have a router whose IP address belongs from which subnet? This subnet. Okay. If you see my home router IP 172.16.3.254, this IP address I have kept to my home router, right? And my home router provides me internet access from this particular subnet. All of you guys have the home router IP, right? Routers management IP or the gateway IP, all of you have, right? So from that subnet itself, so from that home router subnet itself, you guys receive one IP from the DHCP to get a internet access, correct? You'll receive one IP to get a internet access. Same thing I'm doing here. I'm assuming I have a home router. Let's say, for example, I have a home router. This is my home router, which is connected to internet and which is connected to my internal network as well. And this is having IP address from this particular subnet for management purpose, right? So as I know, like from this subnet, if I assign one of the IP, that will get an internet access. Now that's a reason why I'm taking this subnet as my WAN IP, WAN subnet, and from here I'll take one unused IP to a interface. Now at your home, what subnet you have, that you guys can decide. It's not important that you'll have a same subnet. No, everyone will have a similar or different type of subnets. Generally, your router subnets in India will have 192.168.0.0 or 192.168.1.0. Correct? In general, you guys have private IP. See, just to go to your adapter where you are connected. Let's say you are connected with Wi-Fi, go to details. Here you guys can see DHCP is enabled. You can see what's a private IP you have received, okay, from your router, subnet mask, and whatever the gateway you see, that's your router IP. Gateway is nothing but it's your router IP. Can you guys see this? So if you want to give a internet access to your firewall, then what you should do? You should assume that firewall WAN interface is one of a client to you. Like you connect your PC as a client in a network. The same way, you should assume your WAN interface of the firewall is a client who needs a internet access. So you should provide the same informations what you have received on your PC to get an internet access at the WAN interface of the FortiGate firewall as per your subnet. Are you guys clear what I'm saying? In my case, my subnet is 172.16.3.0. In your case, whatever it is, let me know. What's your subnet, guys? Okay. So you know what's your router IP, correct? Now let's say you guys can install Nmap software in your PC. If you have installed like EVNG client software, then it will automatically install this GenMap or Nmap software. This will help you to identify how many hosts are active from that particular subnet in your network. So let's say I want to see 172.16.3. I can give asterisk over here. Okay, like this, mention the asterisk, and I want to do a ping scan and want to see how many devices are active. So I can see these many hosts. It is okay. These many hosts I have sent the ping request. Right. Out of these hosts, mm, how many hosts are active? How many hosts are up? Wait. In this report, you guys can see somewhere. Wait. Do a separate type of scanning. Let's do an intense scan, and let me scan. Let me open Nmap again. And say intense scan. Failed to resolve. Okay. Or you can say like this also, .0/24, like that also you can mention and say scan. It has stuck. Intense scan is not working as of now. Let's say I want to search like TCP and UDP type of scanning. Sometimes this software also does not work properly. I'm not getting appropriate output, guys, right now. So basically what happens whenever you scan, it will show you like how many hosts are active, how many hosts are reachable. So you can easily identify, quickly you guys can identify, might be I need to reinstall this tool again. Okay. So it will automatically send you, show you like how many devices are active in your host, and it will show you the result. Uh, Actually, it is telling failed. There is something error. It wasn't coming earlier like this. There is some error. Okay, we'll fix it later. So the purpose was to show you or to find out how many hosts are active in the network. That's it. Why do we need to see that? Because whenever you guys assign any IP address, now let's say you might not be knowing right from the DHCP what IP addresses are pre-allocated in your devices. You guys are not aware of it, right? Let's say in your home you have 5 family members. You have five, the laptops. You have mobile phones. All will be connected with the internet. Okay. In that case, they will receive an IP address from the DHCP. So you are not knowing like what IP address is used and what is unused. So in that case, that software will help you to scan the network to find out how many hosts are active. Guys, did you get my point? And the subnet which is not used, it's easy. It's easy. You can assign any IP. Sometimes you assign a same IP and it gets conflicted. So the best idea, what you guys can do, normally whenever the IP addresses will be connected, it will assign the IP address from the starting point, like from the beginning point. Beginning numbers will be assigned as an IP address. So generally what you guys can do, you can take the IP address from top to bottom. Like I'll use, let's say I might use .50 as an IP. So if I have like 10 devices in my network used, it might not use .50 because to reach .50, it needs another 49 IP addresses, right? Or might be sometimes what's a range of, the subnet that assigns an IP, you need to see that as well. So my intention was to show you guys, do not conflict or do not use the same IP which is already used. In that case, you might not get the internet access. Okay. So try something, try some other IP. Okay. And at the LAN interface, I'll be adding .10 as an IP from the respective subnet. And for the management, I'll assign .254 as an IP. After that, we'll connect to DMZ. So we'll say DMZ server. And we connected port number 4 for the DMZ purpose. And for DMZ, I'll take subnet 192.168.10.0/24. Okay. So I'll start all these devices. This is our first topology. Like that, based on the different scenarios, we'll have a different types of topologies, guys. But as of now, till translation, we are going to work with this topology. Now when HA will come, we'll add additional devices. We'll have a different topology, or in the same topology also, if you want to include, even we can do that. So this is the basic topology. This will help you to understand the labs till translation. And one more thing I'll do. For FortiGate, guys, like how many of you are not using EVNG in this group? EVNG? Not using EVNG? No, PNet is fine. See, PNet, EVNG, both are same, not an issue. PNet or EVNG. Anyone not using? Okay. So all of you guys are aware of it. Let me provide you a image. I'll upload device image on Google Drive. Here I'll put a device image. Hey, someone, can you post that link which I had given you for EVNG videos? Device I uploaded. You guys can use it. Okay. Topology, you guys can create your own, right? This is the topology that we are using. Okay. So everything uploaded over here. Now you guys can get access to a firewall, CLI. And first time whenever you log in with username admin, password, nothing, just blank. Don't type a blank, okay? Simply press enter. It will prompt you for new password. I'll write capital A, small b, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Capital A, small b, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. And you can see you have got the access to a CLI. You need to say so system interface. It will show you the total interfaces that you have here active. Like we have currently port 1. The port 1 is allowed with ping service, HTTPS service, SSS service, and the HTTP service. These are the services which are currently applied. I don't see any other ports applied with this type of service. So total I can see till port number 6 I have 6 interfaces I have. Out of that we have used 4 interfaces. So how do you assign a CLI? How do you assign an IP address to a CLI? See, I have given you guys a document. In that document everything I have shown you how would you configure. Okay. Still I'll give you some CLI commands. You guys can see, like, first of all you'll go to the you'll go to configure system interface. You'll go to the port number 1. So you guys will configure these commands in this way. Okay. You'll say configure system interface, and here you will say edit. When you say p port, you'll see right now it's port 1. If you press tab, port 2, 3, keep on pressing tab, it will change the port number. When you'll press enter, you will see it will add one space. Again press enter, then you will see you are into a port 1. So this is how you guys have to understand. Now you have to define, first of all, what type of IP address do you want. First of all, if you see, when I said so interface, so system interface, it shows your mode is DHCP. Set mode DHCP. This is a command. It's by default there. Now, if I want it to be a static, then I'll say static like this. Now it's in a static mode and I can configure the IP address statically. So what IP address I want this IP address to be configured, and I want only these services to be enabled. So your command is set allow access HTTP, HTTPS, telnet, ping. If you want, see, by default your firewall will not allow you to get access through HTTPS. It will only access through HTTP, telnet, ping, SSH. So you guys can manually put these commands and get access. And whenever you guys will say end, this end will save the commands to your running config and startup config both at a time. So this is how through CLI you should know how to configure the interfaces. Now through CLI, if I tell you guys to configure port number 2, 3, 4, 5, anything, will you be able to configure it? See, why these things are important. We know that firewall, the FortiGate firewall is GUI based firewall, right? But still, you should know a few CLI commands for backup purpose. Okay. Now, let's say, for example, through GUI itself, you lost some services. How will you allocate the services through CLI? That's what you guys have to do. Now, once these things are done, you guys can come to browser. Let me go to command prompt and check ping. One, sorry, I haven't assigned that IP. So I need to configure my base PC IP from the same subnet. You can use one adapter for multiple local subnets. So first of all, let me assign an IP address to my adapter for internet access 172.16.3.222. This is my internet accessible IP, guys. 172.16.3.254 as a gateway. And I can use this adapter to work with multiple local subnets. 105.0.0. Let's say I'll tell 5. Because my management interface of firewall is working with 105 subnet. Okay, so I'll come here and I'll try to ping 105.0.0.254. You guys can see I do have a connectivity. So now what I can do, I'll say 105.0.0.254, and you'll see you'll get an access to a GUI. Username admin. I changed the password through CLI. Have I changed? Yes. Capital A, small b, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Login with the changed password. Specify host name. Yeah, you can begin. You can write it here, host name as a 40 1, say okay. You can see the host name changed here. It will be applied to CLI as well. It's inactive. Let me restart the session. Okay. If you want to change the host name, you can see, you can go to you guys can come here as well. Go to the configuration. That configuration takes you to system. Under the system, it takes you to settings. And here you guys can change the host name. You guys can change the time zone. Okay. And apply it. Not getting my voice. How come? Is my voice audible to you guys? Okay. Okay. So like this, you guys can do a settings, and you guys can go to network. Inside a network, you guys can see interfaces given. Inside the interfaces, you guys can see this was the IP address that I configured and the services that I enabled. Apart from that, if you see any port numbers that you want to configure, you can select, you can click on edit and configure it. So guys, today is the last class of this week. That's why I have shown you a practical today, so that you guys can complete the labs. So I want you guys to create a lab till this point. It's easy for you guys to configure an IP address on the routers and PCs, right? But it was difficult for FortiGate, so I have shown you how to configure FortiGate interfaces. Yes, we'll directly connect on Monday. Okay, same time. 4 days a week we'll have a class. Friday is my week off. Yes, Monisha, you can do with 8 GB RAM also. And guys, can you complete this lab? Make the connectivity from the firewall. Can you ping all the respective devices? I'll check. So system, you guys can press the question mark. Give this command and press the question mark. It will show you the current status. More commands we have, but mostly I don't focus on these commands. Okay, so system interface port 1 if you give, port 2, port 3, like this if you give. If you say port 1, it will show you the individual interface details. Okay, and see, I have given one document for you guys. I have given you one document for CLI reference. So if you guys come here, open this document. If you need any additional things, apart from that, what is not shown in a class, then you guys can go through this CLI. You'll see the entire book is given for CLI. Is that fine? For config, what are the execute commands, get commands, tree commands, all these commands are given. With meaning it's given. Okay then, I'll see you guys on Monday. Take care. See you.